Coming up next on Prime Time, it's Royal Rumble weekend, which means it's time for Be the Booker. Also NXT San Antonio, a big return on Raw, and everything else from the week in professional wrestling right here, right now on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time for Thursday, January 26, 2017. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Octavius the Tiberius, the alleged backyard, one-time knockout, straight edge, hardcore Hall of Famer hero. And as we embark on this, the final week of January, entering February, your favorite celebratory month of the year.
Yes.
How has your week been, David?
It's been absolutely tremendous getting ready for San Antonio.
San Antonio and the Royal Rumble this weekend. We are going to be live in the suite at the Alamo Dome with all of our closest friends and fans.
And you're bringing your driver, Boutros Boutros-Ghali, along with you.
Boutros Boutros-Ghali?
Yeah.
He was released. I got a new guy, Sammy.
Oh, Sammy?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's pretty good.
Even better.
Sort of geeky, but good. Anyways, folks, let's get right down to it. A loaded, stacked, extended edition of Primetime this week. And let's kick it off with this week's big story, and that is, of course, this Sunday night's WWE Royal Rumble. Now, we're going to have Be the Booker later, where we look at what is the most complicated card to fantasy book each and every year later on here on this broadcast. But firstly, David, here, I want to talk about the Royal Rumble match itself.
Maybe for you it's complicated. I get it.
Do you really?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'll be interested to see how that segment plays out later on in the episode.
It'll be fantastic.
You've prepared for it. You've got notes, and you've got you
Everything
studied,
is right up here.
and that's what concerns me.
Those are the notes.
There are, though, folks, in the Royal Rumble matchup itself, a mere 22 names that have been announced, leaving 8 names as a mystery. And we're going to talk about why WWE has not necessarily focused on announcing everybody and what the potential is, because those names have not been announced. And the first one that has gotten a lot of buzz as of late because there is mystery surrounding him, and he hasn't been mentioned lately on WWE television. That is the injured Finn Balor. Do you think Finn Balor is going to be one of those 8 unknown names in the Royal Rumble?
If he's healthy, there's no reason not to have him. But is he the Demon or is he Finn Balor?
I'd have to be the Demon. Burn that 2 minutes up right there. Have somebody just follow him out right after.
He has to be Finn Balor.
No, it'd have to be the Demon. Now, you hate the Demon. I understand
No,
this.
I don't hate the Demon.
You dislike the
They
Demon.
rush the Demon,
But the Demon works.
but not that fast.
Okay, so if not the Demon, then what are they going to do for the Undertaker's entrance? He's not going to run down. He's in the Rumble match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You're not going to have dueling entrances.
I think there may be some validity to that point, but I also think you are still wrong. But whether it's the Demon, Finn Balor, or Finn Balor,
It's Finn Balor.
would he be a good name to include in the Rumble this Sunday?
The fans would love it. And keep in mind, it's in San Antonio.
What is it?
50-some
He's
thousand
Scottish.
people are going to be there.
50-some? I
It's
thought it
gonna
was
be
60.
60, whatever, 50 to 60. It could be 70. It could be whatever number you want to pick. But it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
And when he comes out, the crowd is going to be happy. They haven't seen him since SummerSlam.
I mentioned earlier, as we began talking about Finn Balor, that he has not been mentioned or referenced, at least as far as I can tell, on WWE television in quite some time. You've stated many a time on this program in the past that that's a deliberate act.
Absolutely.
And they've been going back and doing these Royal Rumble videos, these Royal Rumble memories, and focusing on not the ones you've seen on television necessarily, but the stars talking about the Royal Rumble matchup itself. Some have even speculated as to who some of these participants can be, and I don't think any of them have mentioned Finn Balor
No,
either.
they haven't. Which means he'll probably be in the Rumble.
Why no Demon? I mean, you may not remember it anyways.
Because
You got to remember the Rumble. You know that.
Finn-
The whole tagline this year is for you. Remember the Rumble.
Yeah, it is. This year I will.
We had a suite back in Pittsburgh, I think it was a couple of years ago. Maybe it was Philadelphia, somewhere
It was Pittsburgh.
in Pennsylvania.
It was Pittsburgh.
Before they went red. And we had a lot of wine in the suite. And I guess we could admit publicly, you overindulged.
I remember seeing the pre-show match.
That's about it.
That was it.
So as you remember the Rumble, you don't want the Demon if it is Finn Balor.
No, because you have to reintroduce Finn Balor to get him over strong.
Okay, I'll give you that. Even though people haven't forgotten him, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Okay, don't you just want to... And the next one, we've talked about this for the last 3 weeks, folks, here on this program. The man who is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on WrestleMania weekend, the one, the only, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, that's interesting because he was booked on indie shows this weekend.
He was.
And has now been taken off.
Yeah. Well, but I think there could be a lot read into that. That was going to be a broadcast show that was going to air a couple hours before the Rumble anyways, which is a challenge, and we know that many times they don't let their contracted talents do anything else that's going to broadcast.
But I'm pretty sure that was booked way before he went into the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's more to it than just it being a broadcast.
Kurt Angle did do an interview this week where he stated explicitly, it was a TMZ capture, where he explained explicitly that he is not going to be in the Royal Rumble and there is no chance that he will be in the Royal Rumble. And that means, David Hero, that.
He won't be in the Rumble.
Or that.
Well, he's not a liar.
But perhaps he will be.
Well, you know what? Do not put words in my mouth. If he says he's not going to be there, then he won't be there.
He told TMZ when captured at baggage claim that he would not be there. What is this? He's going to say, yes, I'll be in the Rumble? His answer has to be no, doesn't it?
It does.
I think we've talked extensively about the
I'd love
reasoning.
to see Kurt Angle in the Rumble, but
I just want to hear the music and hear the pop. That's it. I don't care what happens after that. And we've talked about that, and you said that there's no chance he's going to win, so why put him in it?
Right.
There's 3 big names who aren't going to win the Rumble either, or two of them are not going to win the Rumble if you assume one of the big names is going to win. So either Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, or Goldberg are walking out of there a loser as well.
Yes.
So why can't Kurt Angle do the same?
Because Kurt Angle isn't Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, and Goldberg, who they've invested so much time and money into lately.
So that means it should be easier for him to lose. Kurt Angle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
your argument of he shouldn't be in it because he won't win it is no longer valid.
Well, it is, but, I'd love to see him in there. I think the crowd would go nuts for it. The music, the whole intro would be great. It would be a shock because people wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. Even though they should, they won't.
I'd love to see Lesnar and Angle. I'd like to see Angle.
The face-off from 19.
I'd like
First
to see
time
Angle
since.
and Goldberg for the first time.
Yes.
You know?
So much fun to be had.
Yes.
So much fun to be had. Now, also, they could fill the rest of those 8 spots out, or at least thin that emptiness of those 8 spots out with some talents from NXT. They've got a big show the previous night.
You very well could.
In San Antonio.
I mean, it could be a Samoa Joe. It could be a Bobby Roode. It could be a Nakamura. So
That could be the biggest or best, not biggest, but the best call-up ever, right? So somebody comes in the Rumble, it's like, wow, which roster are they on? They're in NXT. They're getting a chance to go to Mania for the championship. Mm-hmm. Who would you give that opportunity to at this point in NXT? Now, it's difficult to talk about
Samoa
not
Joe.
knowing who the matchup.
Samoa Joe.
Okay, so Samoa Joe doesn't capture the championship,
No.
or maybe he does on Saturday night
Well, he's
in
not
San
in
Antonio.
No, it's
It's not, so he won't capture. Is he
Yeah.
even on the card, Samoa Joe?
Well, let's look in your notes.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm not sure he is.
You have this very elaborate run sheet.
Yes, it's worth reading sometimes. What's interesting, while it's interesting to talk about who's not in the Rumble and what names haven't been announced, let's talk about who could be filling those spots, who aren't filling those spots, who aren't in the Rumble match at all. Namely, David Heroes, you've pointed out, AJ Styles, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, all huge names that will not be participating in the Rumble match as far as we know because they got other business that night.
Yes, yeah, they do. And Seth Rollins.
Bigger news there coming out of that, Seth Rollins loses his spot in the Royal Rumble this past Monday night on Raw thanks to Triple H's music, and his spot is yielded to another star that we'll talk about in the Raw report.
Triple H will be in the Rumble.
Really?
Why not?
Just more crap on Seth
Yeah,
Rollins?
yeah.
And then Rollins comes out, attacks Triple H. There is so much opportunity in this Rumble matchup, David
There's
Hero, to build what needs to be a very strong Mania.
They can build WrestleMania out of the Rumble match itself.
And they must. They
Yeah.
need to.
Well, yes, they got to get cracking on this thing.
They do have to get McCracken on this thing. But folks, we're going to talk much more about the Royal Rumble matchup itself later on in Be the Booker.
Coming up next, it's this week's Raw Report, SmackDown Report, Hot News, and Be the Booker for Sunday's Royal Rumble.
The biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend is back. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash presents Shenanigans Orlando. Join Nash and his friends for a huge VIP party Saturday, April 1st. party with the biggest stars of wrestling at the pub at Point Orlando on International Drive to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Don't miss Shenanigans Orlando, hosted by Kevin Nash. Tickets are available now and going fast at pwrshow.com. That's pwrshow.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. And David Hero, I want to remind everybody that you can watch the Pro Wrestling Report, if you're not already, on Fight TV. That's
Yes.
FITE, the Fight TV app. You can go to the website you see on the screen right now, fight.tv/PWR, as thousands of you have done already, to go ahead and download the app for free. Just go right to that website, boom, on your mobile device, and it pops down onto your phone. It's just that easy. And speaking of easy, it's easy to watch programming on Fight because all you need to do is have that application on your phone, click play, and it broadcasts to whichever Wi-Fi device or on your phone that you choose. Big news, though, coming up as far as our WrestleMania coverage, David Hero, in conjunction with Fight TV in the next few weeks here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
I cannot wait to be covering WrestleMania.
Never been done before and will be done again when we set the precedent this year.
Yes.
But folks, let's get to this week's WWE Raw report. And Raw from this past Monday night was eventful in many ways. Firstly, a big return occurred on that show, and one of a star that I had almost forgotten about. The Big Show,
How could you
back
forget
in
about
WWE.
the Big Show? He's been on social media showing off his abs lately.
That's photoshopped, airbrushed.
No.
Were you there? Did you take the picture?
No, I didn't.
Were you the man in the mirror?
I don't think the Big Show would lie. Are you calling the Big Show a liar?
No, not at all.
Remember
I
the
was
last
saying-
time you talked smack about Chris Masters and what happened at that hotel lobby in Madison, Wisconsin?
He challenged me on it, and I stood up to him like a man.
You're the guy that's been talking crap about me.
Mm-hmm. Burying him was the key term he used.
Why?
Why? Because what happened is you say the Big Show doesn't and wouldn't, but you lied and put the heat on me.
I'm creative.
You probably don't want that job. Creative.
No. But Big Show.
Big Show's back on
He's
Raw.
back.
Good job getting back on track.
And he looks great.
He did.
He looks trimmed down. Braun Strowman looks fantastic also, you know.
And those two came face to face.
And it's going to happen at the Rumble.
Because Big Show is in the Rumble, as is Strowman.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Good timing for Big Show to come back, huh? There's been talks of him wanting to get a matchup with Shaquille O'Neal
Well, that's
at
happening
WrestleMania.
at WrestleMania.
Shaquille O'Neal synonymous with
That's
Orlando.
why Big Show's training so hard, because he knows ESPN's going to be covering that. He wants to look great.
Here's
for
what's
that
interesting. If you look at that scenario, if that does develop, if that does happen, it was in Orlando at WrestleMania
match. In the Andre the Giant
2018,
Battle
whatever it
Royal.
was. No, not at all. When he fought Floyd Mayweather
Oh yeah.
in the Citrus Bowl, the same place, same city,
Yeah,
different
but
time.
last year Shaq was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Shaq was, as a
Yeah.
surprise, and I've forgotten about that
Yeah.
because that was WrestleMania Epic, and it went too long.
It was. You know, there's a 2-hour pre-show for the Rumble.
There is a 2-hour pre-show for the Rumble, yes.
Do we have to get to that early?
Well, we're going to be at JR's Q&A, one-man show, one night.
I like that.
Ringside with JR in San Antonio before the show's a matinee show at 2 o'clock p.m. And looking forward to seeing our good old friend, good old JR,
Good old JR.
on Sunday in San Antonio.
Absolutely.
David Hero also on Raw. We saw some in-depth interviews conducted with both Bayley and Charlotte coming into their match on Sunday. Charlotte's arrogance, confidence, and just presence was amazing again in this
She
interview.
is proving to be a worthy number 2 draft pick.
I'm going to walk down that aisle with this championship, and I'm going to walk out that ring with this championship. Just the confidence she exudes, really channeling
Bailey
her
is
dad.
the ultimate underdog. Mm-hmm. She really is.
Yeah. Mrs. Pay-Per-View, how do you feel about that moniker for Charlotte?
She's undefeated on pay-per-view.
But how many times did she lose the title on Raw?
Doesn't matter. Hey,
Shawn Michaels was
was Mr. WrestleMania.
And he was
lost
Mr. Pay-Per-View for a
but
while.
he
Before
lost
he was
a lot of
Mr.
WrestleManias.
Yeah. Good point. We'll talk about that match later on and be the booker as well. But Sami Zayn, folks, is the person who took the spot of Seth Rollins. We talked about that earlier in Big Story. Seth Rollins out of the Rumble. Sami Zayn, the endorsed Sami Zayn, in case you aren't keeping score at home, is now a member of the 22 names of the Royal Rumble
It's amazing
class.
that the fans aren't as pissy about Seth Rollins not being in as the time Daniel Bryan wasn't in. Remember when Daniel Bryan didn't win? Everyone went nuts.
Yeah?
And
Well, he
CM
wasn't even in the match.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when CM Punk didn't win, everyone went nuts. Seth Rollins is cut from that same
There's
cloth as
something-
far as the fans, how much they appreciate him.
But are they distracted by the fact that there are 3 huge names in this matchup and nobody knows who's going to win it? So maybe the passion is less there to root for their guy?
You have to have Seth Rollins on the Rumble.
And currently he's not booked.
No.
He doesn't even need to be in town. Maybe he'll be part of the 2-hour pre-show.
Maybe he'll come out as a luchador.
La Luchadora?
Al Rollins.
Folks, Nia Jax, I get it wrong every
Nia
week.
Jax.
Nia Jax is she's attacked and feels the wrath of Sasha Banks with a crutch this
Nia
past
Jax.
Monday night.
She's awesome.
You enjoy her immensely.
I do.
Is she part of your little Mickey Mouse Club team?
She is definitely a super friend. You know, if you watch Breaking Ground, you would have seen her wearing the shirt.
I missed that episode.
I'm sure you did.
But folks, also a huge end to the show from Raw this past Monday night, as we knew we'd see Goldberg, I think it was, that was advertised. But we didn't necessarily know that we would see Brock Lesnar, and we certainly didn't expect to see The Undertaker. Those 3 icons standing in the ring to end the show Monday night. I don't know if there was a better way to go home to San Antonio.
It was electric.
Boogie,
Because
woogie, woogie.
all they did is they just stood there and stared at each other.
Yeah. Nothing needed. Now, some people said, and we got some feedback on Twitter, that, well, that was pointless. Why
No, it
didn't they
wasn't.
fight? I wanted to see
Because-
them touch.
Because you want to pay to see that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, do we want to pay to see that, or does somebody want
They
us
want
to pay to see
us
that?
to pay to see it.
Old school, huh?
Yes.
A solid ending to Raw, tremendous ending to Raw. David, overall, your thoughts on Raw this past Monday night?
The ending made it an A.
The ending made it today, so the first 3 hours and 5 minutes you didn't need.
C+.
Very good. We should grade it by. No, that's too much work. We can grade it by hour.
No.
That is this week's WWE Raw Report.
Coming up next, it's this week's SmackDown Report, hot news, the 3 count, and be the booker for Sunday's Royal Rumble.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report here on Fight TV and YouTube. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. David, I really am so excited that after Feedback Friday tomorrow, we're hopping on a jet plane and heading on
Yes,
down
I cannot wait to
To
get
the-
to San Antonio.
to San Antonio, Texas. Are you excited about the Riverwalk?
That's what I hear. Everyone's talking about the Riverwalk.
Pat O'Brien's?
Yeah, I've never been to San Antonio before.
Really? Forever, ever?
Forever. I'm a Spurs fan. Like, I've basketball, okay? Well, you don't know. I gotta explain stuff. You might think it means
I
something else.
I saw them once.
You might think it's something else. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to being in San Antonio.
I hope San Antonio is ready for you. But folks, let's get right down to this week's WWE SmackDown report. And the big show, the Blue Show on Tuesday night, brought us one really, really strong thing to talk about, which was the fact that John Cena and AJ Styles had a face-to-face, and John Cena
Great
tore
promo.
into
Great
AJ
promo.
Styles. Some key things he said. One really key thing he said. People talk about, I didn't pay my dues, said John Cena. I didn't go through the indies. I didn't go through I wasn't on the road learning my craft. He was to a degree, to be honest with you.
He was.
With his dad's promotion. But said to AJ Styles, I didn't need to, because I was here in the WWE carrying this company on my shoulder for 10 years. Boom. He could have dropped the microphone.
You know what was amazing? They have built AJ Styles up
Yes.
to become a megastar this year.
Yeah,
And
if he's not already.
And that promo with Cena definitely jabbed him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jabbed him in the eyes of
and-
the fans, or
and-
jabbed him in the eyes of his own pride?
All over.
Okay. You think
But that
AJ's damaged as a
No,
result?
no. But that promo made me now really want to see the Rumble. For
Really?
that match.
So they talked you into the building?
Absolutely.
They didn't touch?
No.
Or did they? They may have.
No, they didn't do anything. It was great.
It was very, very well done. I mean, Cena went on his game like that when he, and that's what's so great about the dynamic that is the character of John Cena, is he can get real fast, and when he does, I'm not sure you want to be in the path of his destruction.
Oh, absolutely not. And what was great about it is they brought real life when Cena did the interview on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
And he said a guy from Atlanta.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And if you think about
and
it,
he's not really, he's from Gainesville, Georgia,
and
to
if
be
you
honest.
think about it, AJ Styles from Atlanta, John Cena from Boston, Atlanta Falcons versus the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and the week before you got Cena versus AJ.
How'd you feel about that? Were you a bit despondent when your beloved Packers got
I
destroyed
didn't
this past
care.
weekend?
I don't
You didn't
care.
care? You don't follow football?
I do, but they don't put any money in my pocket.
No more sports booking for you?
No.
Oh, you're in the black book, aren't you?
I'm done with that.
Oh, wow. All right. Also on SmackDown, folks, Naomi made her return and explained that she's been gone for a while and now she's back. Natalia had an issue with that. It was good to see Naomi back in the
It wasn't-
neon and the glow.
It was Alexa Bliss.
Was it? Are you sure it wasn't Natalia? Because they're all in a 6-woman now.
Yes. No, it was Alexa Bliss, the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Okay.
You need to
I
stop.
get them confused.
You
They're both
need-
redheads. Naturally.
Yes. But I love Natalia's entrance.
Naomi's? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. See how easy it is to
Yeah.
misspeak?
All these N-words.
Yet none. Now, Naomi.
Yes. And it just, yeah, I mean, it's great that she's back. You know, the SmackDown, it's just building more stars than Raw.
And they did so as well with Mickie James as she spoke and explained herself in her La Luchadora days to open the show, actually. Mickie James did a really good job talking about her history in WWE.
Mickie
And they did a good
James.
job of diverting from that, but while still letting it sink in from with the audience.
Mickie James is needed back because
Especially on
of
SmackDown.
what she brings. Because she brings that experience and that veteran leadership, and those girls can learn from her.
Yeah, absolutely. Something we also learned was that a member of the SmackDown roster would get an opportunity to become part of the Royal Rumble. However, I'm not sure any of us thought that winning the over-the-top rope challenge would be one Mojo
I
Rawley.
did. When
Really?
I saw who was in there,
He was your number one choice.
he was.
It's going to be good.
Well, no, here's why. Because him and Zack Ryder are split up because
Right.
Ryder's hurt.
Yeah.
He's just a singles guy right now. They got to do something with him.
Right. Well, Mojo Rawley is in the Royal Rumble, one of the 22 announced names. And
You know what they spent too much time on, though, on SmackDown?
what's that?
With James Ellsworth. Getting clothes.
You didn't like
shopping.
his bedangled jeans and his girl's
Why
tank
is he
top?
getting so much TV time?
You weren't entertained by the segment?
No.
Carmella?
James Ellsworth
C-A-R-E.
is a part-time player.
You
Okay?
I think you're happy and proud for James Ellsworth, but there's a part of you that it bothers you
He
as
shouldn't
well.
be getting 3.5 minutes of TV time.
In a 2-hour show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the key there, a 2-hour show.
That's my issue with it.
I enjoyed the segment. I thought it was fun. What store do you think they were at? Looked like the Burlington Coat Factory to me.
It could have been that, or it could have been a Goodwill.
It looked like a Goodwill to start, didn't it? Until they had the mannequins up front, which maybe they added. But that would have been, if it would have been a Goodwill, they should have played that into the whole story. It would have made it that much better. But SmackDown ends as Raw normally used to end, going into the Royal Rumble with the obligatory pre-Rumble brawl.
Yes.
With all the stars filling the ring after The Miz and Dean Ambrose went one-on-one.
Has Dean Ambrose stock has fallen, hasn't it?
Oh, Dallas has just surpassed 20,000 points, and we have one person to thank for that.
Yes, we do, but it's not Dean
Just ask him.
Ambrose.
Correct. You know, I think Ambrose is. I think he's been reset into a different position in the company at this point. I mean, he was champion for
He's
a long
upper
time.
mid-card.
But I think he could easily slide back into the main event picture. I think the fans would embrace that. The fans would.
The first time ever hit 20,000. First time ever.
First time ever, yeah.
Yeah.
It also dipped down to 7,000 for the first time ever during another administration. No need to talk about the past. That is this week's WWE. Actually, one last question, David Hero. Your overall thoughts on the Blue Show on Tuesday night this week?
All it does is every week it gets better. And even though they don't have the star power as Raw, they're making stars on SmackDown.
Very good point indeed.
Coming up next is this week's Event Center, hot news, the 3 count, and be the booker for this Sunday's Royal Rumble.
The biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend is back. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash presents Shenanigans Orlando. Join Nash and his friends for a huge VIP party Saturday, April 1st. Party with the biggest stars of wrestling at the Pub at Point Orlando on International Drive to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Don't miss Shenanigans Orlando, hosted by Kevin Nash. Tickets are available now and going fast at pwrshow.com. That's pwrshow.com.
Welcome to the Event Center. I'm Linda Kay. WWE makes its huge return to Milwaukee on March 5th at the Bradley Center for Fastlane. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. And on April 1st, it's the huge Shenanigans VIP party hosted by Kevin Nash in Orlando on April 1st. Tickets are available at pwrshow.com. And Ring of Honor makes its return to Milwaukee as well to Turner Hall on April 28th. Tickets are available at patstheater.org. And that's it for this week's Event Center.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Damian Nelson sitting here with a very distracted David Hero. What are you so worried about this week? Why is your head somewhere else? You didn't follow the dress code this week?
There's a lot of shenanigans in San Antonio.
Are you afraid of them? That's how they say it in Texas.
Well, I'm not afraid. I'm not scared.
Like Eminem?
No.
He's not afraid either.
No, he's not.
Take a stand. Take a chance.
Well, he's got a lot of money. He can do whatever he wants.
Speaking of shenanigans,
Yes.
we'd be remiss if we didn't follow up with what was just talked about and what we just saw in the time out there in the commercial break. Shenanigans Orlando coming to the Pub at Point Orlando on International Drive, where many of you are staying. Hotels galore on that street. As a matter of fact, WrestleCon going to be occurring right next door at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, and several events for WrestleCon occurring at the Wyndham Resort just on the other side of the Pub at Point Orlando. It's going to be so much fun, David Hero, and I know you've still been talking to talents
Yes.
who want to be a part of this
And
show.
here's the crazy thing is our tickets are we're way ahead.
We are twice the pace of last year's event, which sold out weeks in advance of the event. So get in where you fit in, folks. Don't wait. Remember how many people got shut out last year? We were over capacity and had to turn people away at the door last year in Dallas at the Iron Cactus. This year we expect to see the same thing. So be sure to get your tickets. There's nothing to think about. There is only one party worthwhile attending during WrestleMania weekend. It is on Saturday night this year, the eve of WrestleMania. Nothing else is in its way. NXT starts at 5 o'clock this year. It'll be over before the party starts. So we'll plan your day for you, folks. Go to WrestleCon during the day.
Go to NXT.
Go to NXT.
And then party with us. It's
On
Al Snow's
International
bachelor
Drive.
party as
It
well.
is Al Snow's bachelor party. It is Kevin Nash's hosted event, and tickets are available and more information available now at pwrshow.com. But with that, David Hero, let's go to this week's hot news, the Caliente news, if you will.
Yes.
And really, the hot news this week is, because this is a loaded show and there's so much to fit into print, if you will, we're going to talk about the big show from NXT coming to San Antonio this Saturday night. The show, which is sold out, by the way, features some championship matches that are definitely worth addressing. The first of which is the Women's Championship. It is a four-way match, a fatal four-way match, where Asuka, the champion, will be defending against Nikki Cross, Billy Ray, and Peyton Rose. The Women's Championship on the line. Will Asuka leave San Antonio still the champion?
There's no doubt. Asuka is the beast in NXT right now.
She's like the Brock Lesnar of NXT?
Well, but a smaller version.
Is she not incarnate? Just a
No,
beast?
she's just a beast.
Copy that.
Yeah. It'll be all four of those women have been amazing in NXT. But Asuka is just a little bit further ahead of all of them.
In what should be a tremendous tag team outing, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag DIY with Milwaukee's very own Tommaso Ciampa will be going against the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering. Now,
Precious
DIY.
Paul Ellering.
Will they leave DIY? I said DIY, didn't I? Will they leave San Antonio
is so
with the
good.
championship?
They're so good. But Authors of Pain are massive.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of double team effort by DIY.
This is going to be
to beat Authors of Pain.
A vintage
It's
tag
almost
team
like the
wrestling match.
Rockers
isn't it?
against the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do a lot of double team, a lot of double drop kicks, a lot of quick in and out tags for the
Which
DIY.
they do.
Yes.
And speed might be their best friend in this matchup
Yes.
in order for them to walk out of San Antonio still the tag team champions of the world. Well, the World Championship will also be on the line at NXT TakeOver San Antonio, ladies and gentlemen, as Shinsuke Nakamura will defend against the glorious one, Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode's first chance at the
It's gonna
championship.
be another great match.
Bobby Roode's first main event on a takeover event.
Bobby Roode is a stud. He's a star. He was amazing in TNA, the longest reigning TNA world champion of all time.
That comes with a caveat. Asterisk.
But he still did it. And I would like to see a time limit draw.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I would do.
You know, this is a name we didn't talk about earlier in the episode as we talked about the 8 names non-mentioned as participants in the Royal Rumble. Maybe Bobby Roode is that guy from NXT because he's got the total package, right? He's got the experience, he's got the music, he's got the fan draw, he's got the talent.
If his entrance hit for the Rumble,
Yeah.
people would go nuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you rather see Samoa Joe or Bobby Roode in the Rumble?
Samoa Joe's earned it. He's been in NXT for a long time.
Ooh, a face-off between Joe and Lesnar, Joe and Goldberg, Joe and The Undertaker, Joe and Triple H if he's in it, Joe and Braun Strowman.
There's a lot of possibilities
Yeah.
with Samoa Joe.
God, the Royal Rumble match is just so freaking fantastic,
This is
isn't it?
going to be not better than 92, but it's going to be...
You don't have a Heenan or a Monsoon. It's nothing that can make it better than 92.
No, I'm saying it won't be better, but it's going to be like you're going to mention 2017
Yeah.
as one of the top 3.
It's a reset Rumble,
Yes.
basically. When's the last time The Undertaker's been in a Royal Rumble matchup? That's an interesting bit of
It's been
trivia.
at least 5 or 6 years.
If not longer.
At least, yeah.
If not longer. Well, that is NXT TakeOver, folks. That's this Saturday on the WWE Network, and it should be a good show. Should be a very good show. We're going to try to be in attendance for that show if David can stay sober on Saturday night in San Antonio.
I don't have a drinking problem.
I didn't say you had a drinking problem. You do it quite well. You think you're good at it. I wouldn't say you have a problem with it at all.
You know, that's how rumors start.
No, I don't do rumors. I do facts. Just the facts, man. With that, let's go to this week's 3 count. And as you know how this goes, we can take 3 topics, spend about a minute on each. And our first topic this week is John Cena has been announced and selected to host the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. This after his appearance again on the Today Show just a few days ago.
If wrestling was as popular as it was in the late 90s, John Cena would be on the same par as crossover as an Austin or a Rock.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a matter of fact, it might be better this time because of the more family-friendly nature of WWE
You know, I
programming.
mean, Rock and Austin were everywhere. Cena, if it was 97 all over again, he'd be right there with them.
Yeah. Would you pick him to be Kelly Ripa's new co-host?
Absolutely.
John Cena
Yeah.
and Kelly Ripa. Why wouldn't he? Talk about a job. Going from being on the road for 300 days a year for 10 years plus to...
Hey, Michael Strahan did it.
Yes.
John Cena can do it.
Oh, I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying it would be a cakewalk for him after the stuff he's put his body
All
through over the last
quick
several
wit
years.
he'd have and everything. He's well educated.
Next topic here on the 3 count, though, is Emelina.
I don't
We've
get
seen
it.
promos.
Yeah.
We don't see her.
It's the
and
longest
where
running
is Summer
promo of
Rae
all time.
as well?
Who?
I said Summer Rae.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eva Marie
Oh,
is
she'll
missing
be,
from SmackDown too.
She'll be back soon.
But nothing. We've heard nothing about her. She dyed her hair apparently. I saw pictures. Maybe that didn't go over so well.
What kind of pictures?
Well, her hair are a different color.
Oh, what color is it?
It was black or tan.
Oh, she's
or
back
blonde.
to red again.
Emelina, you don't get it?
Been
Do you want to
forever.
get something out of it?
No, I don't.
Nothing? You don't want to get anything out of Emelina?
No. It's been what, 9 weeks of promos,
Yeah.
and she hasn't been.
Who did this happen with before? It was promo after promo after promo after promo, and they never debuted. In fact, they may
Rose
have.
Clay,
Was it?
or it was Tensai.
It might have been. But they actually did eventually debut. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Finally, here are the 3 count, folks. Jerry Lawler has announced that he has signed a new 1-year contract with WWE. He is going to be part of the 2-hour pre-show along with the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels this Sunday night at the Alamo Dome for the
Look
Royal
at
Rumble.
all of these.
And Jerry Lawler's
They
back.
are bringing out legends.
The big guns.
Yeah.
And they should. I mean, this is a big show. We'll see. See what I did there? We'll see
Yes.
what happens and how full the building is, but ultimately that won't matter as much because it's still going to be a great event, even without or with or without a sellout audience. But Jerry Lawler back for 1 year, meaning his services with WWE will continue to be rendered.
Well, he's going to have a lifetime contract with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's too good at what he does. They'll use him in voiceovers. They'll use him on network specials.
Yeah. Well, folks, that is this week's 3 count. And with that, Always after that,
Yes.
it's time to hear the spoken word of one David Hero. David, take
The
it away.
Royal Rumble is Sunday, and everyone talks about the new era of WWE talents. All the new NXT stars coming up, the Cruiserweight division.
Glorious!
What is everybody talking about? Lesnar, Goldberg, Taker, Shawn Michaels on the pre-show. Once again, the WWE, even with all these new young stars, they're still relying on their legends and icons of
There
the
you
past.
go. Here you go.
Until the younger stars are elevated enough to mean as much as a Taker, Lesnar, Goldberg, and Shawn Michaels, they're going to be constantly bringing back legends for every big pay-per-view. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
I think they're going to get out of that habit real quick. They had no choice last year at WrestleMania. They got screwed talent-wise
They
last
did.
year at WrestleMania by
Well,
injuries.
Well, let's see what happens this year's WrestleMania.
I think the Royal Rumble tomorrow, this week, will tell us what's going to happen at Mania, and we're already in a better place. Remember, they didn't even have a Seth Rollins last year.
No, they did not. They didn't have John Cena either.
Right. That's unheard of
Yeah.
for a WrestleMania
Yes.
card.
And Roman Reigns was on the shelf for a little while, too.
Yeah, yeah. And Bray Wyatt barely could perform because of his injury, but you know he still went in and did it. What'd you think of that whole situation?
Randy Orton
between-
wasn't there?
Randy Orton was not there. So they're already, depending on what happens over the course of the next 2.5 months, they're already in a very good place as it pertains to WrestleMania. But you are right. But I do feel that they're going to scale
always right.
back on those talents that they have used, those Hall of Famer talents, if you will, that they've used at WrestleManias of the past. I just like to counterpoint you, you know. It was my
I
favorite show on CNN for a while. Folks, we are going to take our final time out of the evening. When we come back, we go up to the big board. Go to the tote, David Hero,
Yes.
to do Be the Booker for this weekend's Royal Rumble.
Beautiful.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi and transgender and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. It is Be the Booker, David Hero, and in this segment, what we do is we talk about the show that is coming up here this weekend, the Royal Rumble on the WWE
Yes.
Network, and a lot of matches. So without further ado, let's get to your fantasy booking of the Royal Rumble. Start with the tag team matchup that's going to happen on the pre-show, the kickoff show, if you will. It's for the Raw Tag Team Championships as who?
Cesaro.
Cesaro will take on the Club.
Yes. Two big, brooding teams that are going to punch and kick all their way through this title match. You got to like Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
But
They've been great lately.
The club needs something.
Okay.
And I think by hook or by crook, and they're definitely going to cheat, the club needs to leave the Rumble.
New
with
tag team
gold.
champions.
Otherwise, like I've been saying, it's been an uneventful year
Yeah.
for Gallows and Anderson.
Yep, I would tend to agree. Sasha Banks will get her hands on Nia Jax.
This is going to be David and Goliath. I honestly
Who's
believe Nia Jax is going to ground and pound Sasha Banks for the majority of the match. And then much like Shawn Michaels did with the Kevin Nashes, the Vaders, and the Psycho Sid Viciouses, the babyface underdog, the undersized babyface underdog, is going to somehow pull out a victory. And
Banks for the win.
Sasha Banks defeats Nia Jax.
Folks, the women's championship on the Raw brand will be on the line when Charlotte defends against Bayley. Charlotte, who calls herself Mrs. Pay-Per-View. Will she prove that again against Bayley
You know, it's
at the
going to
Royal
be
Rumble?
interesting because Charlotte is so good and Bayley has been cast as the ultimate underdog. Like she doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. She's just a fan, according to Charlotte. And you say
Physic-
she's just a fan.
Physically,
You say
it's
she's
two
just
different
a fan.
leagues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Charlotte has a great finisher. She has a belly-to-belly suplex.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think it's impressive. I don't think it should beat anybody.
Okay.
People kick out of power bombs, and a belly-to-belly can beat somebody.
Her belly to belly can beat somebody. Hulk Hogan's leg drop beat people, and how many
But
leg
that was a
drops?
different era. Charlotte's just that good. Keep building her up to mean something. I want to see Charlotte and Nia Jax go at it eventually. I think that
Ooh,
would be
fun!
fantastic.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
But two bad girls,
It's okay. Hogan and Warrior, WrestleMania 6.
two good guys.
Cena and Rock, WrestleMania back-to-back years.
3 in a row. The Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line as Rich Swann defends his championship
so funny?
against Neville. Well, you put CW 205.
I didn't want to write out
205
Cruiserweight.
live.
It's a
yes.
lot of letters and syllables and stuff.
You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Neville,
Really? New champion.
he has to.
What about Natalia? Does she play? Not Natalia. Why am I so fixated on Natalia this week?
I don't know.
What about your girl? Your girl,
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
She's not with Rick Swan.
Well, she could be. She's been
Do not talk about her like that.
making herself available.
She is friendly. She has charisma. She's not going to be involved. Neville needs it. He needs this. They need to reset this cruiserweight division. Let it be Neville.
Yeah. Over on the SmackDown side of things, folks, we get a 6-women tag team matchup. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Naomi teaming up to take on Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and there she is, Natalia, David
Yes.
Hero.
The baby faces have been used and abused the last few weeks, if not months, on SmackDown. It's interesting that Nikki Bella is still not with Carmella, but it's because Natalia and Nikki,
What do you mean by with?
the baby faces have got to go over. They really do. These three girls need the win because of just how bad they've been beaten down, but by the heels.
All right, well, our next matchup is for the Raw Championship, and suspended above the ring between these two men will be Chris Jericho in a shark tank as Kevin Owens defends his championship against Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. That happens this Sunday
These two
at
guys
the
are going to have
Royal
a great
Rumble.
match because they've wrestled each other at least 100,000 times in the last 2 months.
Right.
So they should know everything what each one's going to do. Jericho is the X Factor.
Yeah?
He's going to be hanging up top. You know he's going to drop something down.
Oh, absolutely.
Eventually.
Yeah, so there will be some shenanigans.
Roman Reigns needs to go in to WrestleMania as the Raw
Whoa!
champion.
Wait a minute. What?
He does.
What you talking about? Kevin Owens is the man, David Hero.
Roman
He's been champion
Reigns.
since the brand split.
Roman Reigns is going to leave the Rumble
Wow.
as the champion.
This is a major prediction.
It's huge. But here's the thing. It's all about WrestleMania season. Who do you want on Good Morning America?
What are you saying?
It's a cosmetic business.
I'm sure Kevin Owens can trim his beard
No, listen.
Get some sleeves.
Kevin Owens is great.
in the
But-
wrestling business.
But if you're going to go talk to Kelly Ripa and
Yes.
say, hey, who do you want? Who's she going to pick?
I don't know what her tastes are.
Okay, fine.
Having seen her husband, probably Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
Wow, interesting, David Hero. Well, the SmackDown Championship will be on the line. And I don't know if we're going to see as bold a prediction here, but we do know that AJ Styles will be defending against the very thirsty John Cena. And thirsty so much because it could be his 16th championship reign, tying the record of Ric Flair.
Here's what's interesting is they've already announced Elimination Chamber.
Uh-huh.
Cena's not mentioned in it.
They didn't mention all the names. I think they gave us 4
You know.
of the 6.
But John Cena can't lose 2 or 3 or 4 times in a row to AJ Styles.
You say in a row as if they've happened in succession. We're talking over the span of the last 7 months.
John Cena he did the clean job at SummerSlam. Clean. Middle of the ring.
Yes.
He's not doing it again. John Cena.
What are you talking about? The whole world changes this Sunday at the Royal Rumble? 2 new champions
is-
on each brand?
If you have Cena and Reigns as the pillars for WrestleMania, and then you got the Rumble, think about it. Whoever wins the Rumble now has to pick one of the 2 big dogs.
You can't argue that.
Of course you can.
You can't argue that. But I think AJ Styles and Kevin Owens could
Okay,
be
hold on.
considered big dogs.
Owens and AJ will retain, let's say.
Yeah.
let's say Taker wins.
Yeah.
Or Goldberg wins. Do you think Taker or Goldberg want to come back? They want this match. They want this side.
Well, come on, it's going to be Goldberg Lesnar at WrestleMania.
They want
Let's
the
not
star
fool anyone.
power.
Because we talked about that earlier. They couldn't have it last year. Now they can, and they will.
Yes.
Now, can you clear things up a little bit for the audience out there so we can protect the comments that we have to share with you on next week's Feedback Friday? Are you saying that Owens and Styles are not stars?
They are stars.
Okay, but
They are. But they're almost at that tier 1.
well, here's what sums it up. Kevin Owens is no John Cena.
No, he's not.
AJ Styles is no John Cena.
Nope.
However, would you say the same about them being a Roman Reigns?
I think AJ is closer to Roman Reigns than Owens is to Roman Reigns.
Fair enough. Well, folks, that was the easy part. Now we have to talk about the 30-man over-the-top rope Royal Rumble matchup.
Why?
I just want to go over the names, David Hero. We're not going to book this as it's going to happen because nobody knows how it's going to happen. But I want to go over the names of the people participating in the matchup. I want you to listen. Maybe you write down those who are candidates along the way somewhere. So we've got Rusev, Big Cass, Sheamus, Cesaro, Baron Corbin. Chris Jericho is in the Rumble, David Hero. We misspoke earlier. Chris Jericho is in the Rumble matchup. Braun Strowman, Mojo Rawley, Luke Harper, Randy Orton,
All the Wyatts, yeah.
Bray Wyatt, the entirety of the New Day, Dolph Ziggler, who is endorsed,
Yes.
Sami Zayn, who is endorsed, The Miz, who is endorsed, Dean Ambrose is in the Rumble, and rounding out the last 4 announced names of those participating in the Rumble match are The Big Show, The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and Goldberg.
There's a lot of beef in this Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Big Cass, 7 feet tall. You got Strowman, who's close to 7 feet tall. You got Baron Corbin, who's like 6'6", 6'7". There's a lot of big dudes in this thing. I just don't see Taker losing the Rumble.
You can't get over that.
I just don't see it.
It's not about losing the Rumble. It's about the story created in the Rumble, David Hero. We need to know who Taker is going to face at WrestleMania. Fine, if he wins the Rumble matchup, we know exactly what that's going to be. But if he doesn't, I'm more intrigued as to the story that comes out of why he was eliminated than the obvious answer of him winning and then going on for the championship. But you know what that sets up if he wins and goes on for the championship, given the scenario you just outlined. Taker and Cena.
I could see Goldberg and Taker eliminating each other, and then Lesnar winning the thing, and then Lesnar going after Cena or Reigns.
We are owed Lesnar versus Goldberg.
Yeah, we are.
And we will get that at WrestleMania.
We will. I got
So those two are out of the running. You're saying Taker's going to win. All this beef, as you called it.
Yeah.
And you're saying Taker is going to take it.
Yeah. Because who in this Rumble,
Ellsworth isn't in it, by the way.
I know. It's just funny to me. But who in here would Taker want to work with?
Well, I think, again, we've talked about it.
No. In the Rumble, if there's a story, if Taker doesn't win,
No.
who eliminates him, that Taker's like, yeah, I want a WrestleMania match with that person.
Big Show?
Big Show has Shaq.
Braun Strowman? If he doesn't get Goldberg or Lesnar?
No.
No?
I don't think
Jericho? Have we had a Jericho Taker match at Mania? Has that happened?
No, I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, I don't salivate over that so much.
Listen,
Ambrose?
no. Taker's going to win the Rumble. That's why he's
Can
back
you
in.
make that official so that when we go back to the tape later on, you can't unspin it and say you never said it, Mr. Trump?
Oh.
Folks, the 2017 WWE Royal Rumble is this Sunday on the WWE Network. Let's talk about how this guy would book it if he were booking it. Firstly, the club would be, everybody's winning belts left and right on Sunday. The club becomes the new Raw Tag Team champions, defeating Cesaro.
You like that, don't you?
Sasha Banks gets a win over Nia Jax. Charlotte retains her championship, one of few to do so, according to David Hero. Neville becomes a new Cruiserweight champion. The team of Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi defeat the team of Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. brand new Raw Heavyweight Champion in Roman Reigns, brand new SmackDown Heavyweight Champion in John Cena, and ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2017 WWE Royal Rumble, as predicted by this guy, as booked rather by this guy, David Hero, is The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. How about that?
I think it'd be a letdown. It's so obvious. It's so obvious.
Last year was obvious Triple H was going to win.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was. At the end, it was.
It was,
but not going into the
yes,
matchup.
It was obvious. Triple H could still be in this Rumble.
Could be. 8 names unannounced at this time. Well, folks, that is Be the Booker, and that is also this week's edition of an extended version of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. I want to remind you to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Just click the gimmick, well, over in the corner of the screen, and you can go ahead and become a subscriber to the program. Also, be sure to join us on Fight TV. That's FITE, the Fight TV app, where you can watch Pro Wrestling Report programming for FRWE free as well. And also on social media, Twitter,
yes.
at David Hero,
2 R's.
just the way it's spelled, at Damian Nelson, just the way it's spelled, at Linda K22, and of course at PWR Show, all on Twitter. We love engaging with our fans, especially as we will be live from this Sunday's Royal Rumble in San Antonio. For that one, folks, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time.